Hello everyone, it's your boy Blazing here, back at it again with another video. This time we're going to do the full season of Gamera. And we're gonna start from episode 2. Anyways, if you guys want to see it, my first impressions, I'll put the link in the description below. And as always, leave a like, comment, share. If you're on TikTok, hit the follow button. And let's just get right into it. Spoiler warning. After the kaiju attack, or the initial battle that happened in episode 1, our quartet, let's say, they get a helicopter ride to this facility with that lady and another dude, and they basically explain what Gamera was. Later on, they're basically recruited, and I would assume they were given no choice, but they look like they're having fun. Anyways, they were given these devices that basically track them and let them communicate. They're like modern day phones, but a little bit limited, but yeah. And then this dude, Douglas, drags our group of characters in some underground facility. These two get tipped off because those devices track their geographical location. And since they went underground, they cannot track them. At some point in their tunnel exploring, they see a big hole and want to go in the big hole. Yeah, fucking idiots. Like, you're not gonna encounter the things that made it. Alright, go ahead. Eventually, Gamera pulls up like a jet. A whole ass jet. And the military is attacking him. So at some point in this aerial battle, rockets were fired. He pulled up to the sky and unleashed an explosion wave. Our boys ended up finding this, and I would have been like, alright, mission accomplished, we found something, let's get the hell out of here. Douglas, he wants to keep exploring. I don't know why. You already kind of came here to find what you wanted to come here. So I think it's best to like call it a day, and obviously that's not what ends up happening. They intercept a message from the US troops, and they wanted to secure the monster for them and be like, oh, we're helping the US troops, that's awesome. Eventually, things got heated and ended up waking up the monster. Eventually, the US troops show up, and they got caught being at where they're not supposed to be at. A bunch of fucking idiots. Our kaiju of the week finally shows up, and they named it Jiger. Then our boy Gamera shows up in smoke and fire like a goddamn badass, looking like the first generation from Lookism. Gamera was clearly shown fighting the lizard. He wasn't attacking the people, but he was still being attacked by the US military. So our boys had Douglas stand up to his dad and told him, hey, call off your fucking troops. We see Gamera using one of his abilities, the fire fist. Well, at least that's what I'm calling it. So Gamera takes his fist, shoves it up the lizard's mouth, and just burns it alive, bro. Like, I know I said that I wanted Gamera to be a little bit more violent, but this is just fucking brutal, goddamn. After Gamera committed this fatality, he gets into jet mode and flies away. And at the end of the episode, our band of idiots got a home base. Starting off, episode 3, we get our kaiju of the week. It looks like some pterodactyl looking thing, and they're harassing this cruise line. Then we get our boys being informed that they're going to be on a 2-week class on this boat. Now we get the backstory of how the three amigos met. Basically, old dude was trying to see a UFO and tell everyone, hey, the UFO's going to show up at this so-and-so time. And the only two believed them were the other two friends of his. And then they proceeded to wait for the UFO to show up. So at some point in the episode, this idiot, and by this idiot, I mean the only adult in this frame, felt claustrophobic and wants to leave a moving ship on a helicopter. Bro, make that make sense. Then their chopper got destroyed. We see Gamera pull up in the water fighting this thing. Not gonna hold you, these guys are having a pretty sick underwater battle. Eventually, they make the deduction that the kaiju is after them for whatever reason that may or may not be revealed. Eventually, they got this little mini sub to escape the boat and crash on an island. They're basically running up to this tower so they can disrupt whatever magnetic field this asshole is concocting. They activated the tower and ended up screwing over the kaiju. Our boy Gamera pulled up on this kaiju like, what's up, round two? Gamera charged up a shot and just left this motherfucker burning. Like, goddamn, that's the second time somebody died by fire. And that was the end of episode 3. Episode 4 starts off with the dead kaiju and the researchers taking samples. Then we cut to this thing showing up and killing all of them. I'm gonna call it Jackknife because it has a knife head. He is starting to get fed up from being here. The whole crew tries to convince him, hey, it's whatever, we're having fun, sort of, even though we are getting attacked by kaiju, but if another kaiju attacks, Gamera will protect us. Eventually, they go downstairs to see what the facility is really for, really down an elevator. What they are shown is the fossil of the first kaiju. The doctor states that this kaiju lived for about 100,000 years ago. These two have a heart-to-heart, and the guy says, you know what, I might quit. This isn't really what I signed up for, but I'll still take you out to dinner. These two end up in another heated argument, and old boy says, I'm not your little brother. Stop treating me like him. One more thing. The room they're in, they're basically locked in, so now they're going to escape. We get the origin story of these two's friendship. They basically fought bullies together. After that sad anime backstory, these two decide to go after those others. Of course, the facility gets attacked, and my favorite character is having a mental breakdown. My boy, the legend, Jackknife, shows up to attack the facility. Old girl gets trapped under some rubble. These two fell out the vent they're in, now they're also deep in shit. At some point, Gamera pulled up to the facility in jet mode, ready to crack some heads. At some point during the fight, Jackknife throws a knife in Gamera's face. These idiots finally reunited. Gamera took a shift to the chest, and he's still standing. Our boy Gamera turned into a whole-ass Beyblade. This kaiju finna let one rip. Gamera Rasen Shuriken. Jackknife got split in half with the Rasen Shuriken. They touch the crystal, then all our boys proceed to have a vision of the past. Basically, as far as I can tell, these dickheads sent children to die just so they could be fed to this motherfucker. These guys want to continue feeding kids to the kaiju, but they also want the human population to decrease, hence why they're doing this. Yeah, this bitch is secretly fucking evil. I'm calling it now. The kids got, bro. So, in order to control the kaiju, she has to feed the kids to Virus, who I think it's that octopus kaiju. So, they're planning on going to the moon base. They're gonna release the kaiju, then they're gonna swing by again to see who else they could pick up. This is Dario, who doesn't know he got betrayed. Now they're gonna team up. Everyone wakes up and explain the vision they saw and basically lay out for Mr. Tazuki. Tazuki doesn't give a shit. He says, I'm still gonna send you guys to die. So now they're essentially trying to revive the octopus kaiju. Now he's alive. Now it's time for family drama. We find out that one of the head of the directors, or board of directors, whatever the fuck they call it, the aunt of the scientist, and she killed her mom just so she could take power. She sees off the kids and pretty much says, hey, thanks for your sacrifice. Our boy gives one last declaration saying, you're not gonna win. Gamera will. Proceed to stab one of the guards in the leg. Tazuki is sent to go chase after children. Our boys are dipping. Then they see an injured Dario by the elevator. He catches up to him saying, get in the elevator, Dario, hurry up and blow this joint. In which he does, and they all end up escaping up the elevator. The Kraken finally wakes up. I'm joking, I think its name is Viren. We cut back to our boys who are finally having a moment to breathe through all the hecticness. He explains that he had to play bad guy just so he can get them out of there at some point. We cut to them escaping because the monster is actually awake and is hungry. It ends up killing one of the cult members. Boys end up leaving through a spaceship and is out and about on the hunt for the kids. Charging up a charged particle wave. Gamera tries to interrupt it, but it ends up grazing the ship and killing Dario. Gamera pulls up out the water like, what's up, bitch? What's up, bitch? Gamera ends up losing this initial encounter. Didn't think this thing could get any more disturbing, but here it is flying. I forgot to mention that these guys are in free fall and the monster's coming after them. Gamera woke up and now is trying to fight the octopus again. Our team ends up going into an escape pod, but the escape pods are malfunctioned, so one So one of them has to go and pull the emergency lever. Joe ends up being that person. He says his goodbyes and sends them off. Cut back to Gamera charging at the octopus. He charges through it and ends up cutting it in half. Gamera ends up circling back to pick up the boys because their parachute was malfunctioning. We cut over back to this bitch after the kaiju crashed by her base. This little thing pulls up on her and kills her. After everything is somewhat settled down, they try to figure out their next move. Our boy went to the military and essentially laid out all the evidence he had. Their plan now is to essentially wake up Gamera. Our boy essentially reminisces on everything he did during the summer throughout the course of this season, and he's sad that Joe couldn't be there anymore. Their objective now is essentially trying to wake up Gamera. Oh, look at this giant monster all grown up. I know you're gonna die in this episode. I know you are. I know you are. The monster ends up going to try to kill the kids, and the army finally gets involved. I haven't showed them this entire video because they were just there in the episodes, but now they're doing stuff. The army did a decent amount of damage to the point where they actually made this kaiju flee the fight. Actually, that's a whole lie. This thing is decimating the army. Our boy is running to the lighthouse so he can buy Gamera some time to wake up because all they need is 30 minutes, and the rest of his friends come running too. Gamera pulls up literally spamming key blasts. Monster tries to do the same thing, but it can't go through Gamera's hard shell. Gamera just hit this man with an explosion wave. Gamera tries to charge up the final shot, but the kaiju lodges its tongue into Gamera's mouth. This kaiju freaky as fuck, bro. It ends up working because he's poisoning Gamera slowly. We got our lone soldier pulling up to the monster. She showed up for every episode, but this is the first time she's doing anything. Our boy is getting his shots off. No misses. Man is putting in more work than any human in this entire goddamn show. Soldier's trying to get a clean shot in the mouth so he can free Gamera. The Air Force pulled up. All of these attacks finally freed Gamera. Now, our boy is mad. Up to the sky, but turned into a Beyblade. No! He decides to use the 8 trigrams. Gamera eviscerates the monster with the spirit bomb. Poison that Gamera was injected with essentially made him into every other kaiju. And our little Mr. Protagonist thinks he can change him. And it ends up working. Gamera's back to his normal self and he shoots a beam directly at the moon. And it ended up killing everyone in this room. And with that final act of defiance, Gamera fades to dust. They decided to clean out the hideout. They go to the airport to see this dude off. Then the show ends off with little baby Gamera. I'm joking, that's not how this show ends. This guy picks up one of the diamonds, then proceeds to become the Steve Jobs of this Gamera-verse. And Joe's out there, somewhere in space. And that, guys, was the entire season of Gamera. Are we going to get a second? Who knows? If you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate you. Please leave a like, comment, share, subscribe. And as always, I'll see you next time.